Shalom, giving all praises. Kalalayam Yahweh, Basham Yoshai, Basham Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of GMS who teach me this truth, that the Native American, the Negroes, and the Latinos make up most of Yasharala, plus the scattered around the earth. And shalom to the brothers who teach this truth. This is Banaya. So this video is not my content. I'm just playing it. I'm using it for scholarship. So fair use. I'm not making any funds from it. Okay. So this is about by 2030 we are gone. They're planning to do us dirty, yeah. Okay, so let's start it.
Building bunkers right now. Let's just say it. They're building bunkers, and they simultaneously say everything. There's all these amazing things we're going to get. They sort of wash over with their hands. They kind of push away the idea that there's going to be all this disruption in the middle time, and they're kind of focused on the long term. Like after we make it through this basic horrible disruption and maybe revolutions, there's going to be some other side of this, which will be the most abundant time in human history.
That is Tristan Harris, the man who exposed what social media was doing to your brain before anyone was ready to hear it. And now he is saying the people building AI are putting bunkers underground while publicly telling you the future is bright. I find that hard to shake. Here is his full case.
And as we know, that little baby AI was enough to create the most anxious and depressed generation in our lifetimes, was enough to break down shared reality, polarize political parties much further, change the incentives of the entire media environment, basically colonize the entire world from that baby AI. But to get to your question, how did we get into AI? First of all, I wasn't like wanting to switch into it. It was that I got calls from people inside the AI labs in January of 2023. This is like a month and a half after the ChatGPT had launched, I think. And these were friends I knew in the tech industry who were now at AI labs. And they basically said, Tristan, there's a huge step function in AI capabilities that's coming. The world is not ready. Institutions are not ready. The government is not ready. The arms race dynamic between the companies is out of control. And we want your help to help raise awareness about this. I think a huge problem that both the film, the AI doc, and our AI dilemma presentation we're trying to tackle is this myth that you can't know which way the future is going to go. The future is uncertain. A million things can happen. These are just unintended consequences from technology. The best route is just to accelerate as fast as possible. And that is not true. And just to repeat a quote that is heard from every one of my interviews, but it's because it's so accurate. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner, saying, if you show me the incentives, I'll show you the outcome. And with the incentives of social media being the race to maximize eyeballs and engagement, that would obviously produce the race to the bottom of the brainstem, shortening attention spans, bite-sized video, a more extreme and outrageous content, sexualization of young people, the whole 9 yards of everything.
Your cavities can actually repair themselves, and this is how. This is because the cavity is a result.
Same people who built social media and watched it destroy a generation are now calling Tristan privately, saying what they're building next is worse and nobody is ready. That's the starting point of this conversation, and the pattern is already repeating itself. Now listen to this.
If you view AI as just another technology that confers power, it's a tool, you pick up that tool and use it like any other, you end up in one world. But if you see that AI is the first technology that thinks and makes its own decisions and is generating hundreds of thousands of words of strategic reasoning when you ask it a basic question or like how to code, suddenly you end up in a different world. So let's talk about some of these examples of AI uncontrollability. In the film, they reference this example that many people have heard about by now of the Anthropic blackmail example. This is a simulated company email where in the simulated fictional company, they say in the emails to each other, we're going to shut down and replace this AI model. And then later in that company email, there's an email between the executive at the company and an employee. And the AI spontaneously comes up with the strategy that it needs to blackmail that employee at Anthropic in order to protect itself, to keep itself alive. At first, people thought, well, this is, just one bug and one AI model, but then they tested all the other AI models from DeepSeek, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, etc., and they all do the blackmail behavior between 79 and 96% of the time.
Right. Yeah, that's strikes me as genuinely sinister.
Yes. I think we have a hard time modeling because all of this is abstract. I mean, I'm just thinking about your listeners, and it's like, this just sounds like where you don't have, back to E.O. Wilson, the fundamental problem of humanity is I have a Paleolithic brain, we have medieval institutions and godlike technology, and the only experience you have with your brain with regard to AI is this blinking cursor that tells you why your washing machine is broken.
Given what intelligence is, you should expect things like deception and manipulation and
Correct.
The formation of instrumental goals that you can't foresee. And certainly when you're imagining building something that is smarter than we are,
That's right.
right? Or that's only as smart as we are, but just works a million times faster,
Yeah.
right? So that that every time, how would this conversation go if every time I uttered a sentence, you functionally had 2 weeks to decide on your next sentence?
Correct.
Right? You would be.
That's a lot. Let me go into this. Bring this one up. Isaiah 14. So this is their end game, eh? They are planning to do the rest of Eden dirty. This is the end game of E, right? So I'll show you who this is talking about. Let's start from Isaiah 14 and 1. KJV. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Yasharal and set them in their own land. So that's who it's talking about. So now we jump up to start at 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So the other nations are talking to Edom, or E, right? Because they see what's going on, that E is falling apart. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the knives of thy voil. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, which is the elitists of Edom, the bankers, the technocrats. Yeah? These are so-called illuminated ones. It's talking about them. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? So with their wars and all kind of things going around the world, their disease going around the world, they have weakened the nations. Giving them democracy. Yeah? Democracy. From demon. Okay? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. In the sides of the north, I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. So he did all of that with his by gaining flights. And he took charge of North America. He rules it. The side of the north is North America. He rules North America. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit, so it will be destroyed. God, this place is going to be hell on this side. This place over this side is going to be hell. We personally are in hell right now. We are not in rulership. We are in hell. But he's in heaven. He's ruling. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroy the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoner? So we know that he has made this earth a wilderness. He has destroyed trees and then rebuild. That's what he does. You understand? He's been destroying this earth for a long time. Look at the ocean. He's killing things and then creating monstrous things from these things, these animals. You understand? Trying to create the earth into a cave. You understand? The whole earth is a cave to this man. So
2 weeks to decide on your next sentence.
Correct.
Right? You would obviously be the smartest person I'd ever met.
Exactly. Long before you get superhuman AI, you just get super speed.
Yeah,
that is
so
enough
speed
to
alone is enough
out-compete.
to just completely outclass you. And
Right.
intelligence, you have to envision this as a relationship to a mind that is autonomous.
Yes.
And then you
Check this out. This is a cold plunge tub, and it sells from $8,000 to $15,000. And this is an infrared sauna.
autonomous.